It's November 30th, 2009. I haven't checked the news yet this morning, but Honduras should have had its election by now. That was scheduled for November the 29th. Today is November the 30th. So we'll see what the results of that were. As far as everything else is concerned, it's pretty much going to hell in a handbasket, but everybody's very cheery about Christmas and the holiday season. It looks like our store is making record profits since the time this particular store has been open anyway. We beat our sales on Black Friday by something like, $50,000. And looks like we're having a pretty good week as well. So we will see how that goes and hopefully make some more money. That's what it takes to get me paid, to get me on my trips that I want to take, to help out a little bit, build up a little slush fund in case there's an emergency for the household and all that kind of thing, and something that I like doing, which is keeping in touch with reality by working with other people. And that's what I pretty much want to talk about this morning, is keeping in touch with reality. You know, I was watching a documentary about the Vietnam War period, the student demonstrations at Madison, Wisconsin, and the incident in late October of 1967 in Vietnam, where two companies of a battalion of the 1st Infantry Division walked into an ambush, and both companies were pretty well eviscerated by casualties. Something like 67 killed and another 120 or so wounded, and it was a pretty bad time for them. And the one thing that I remember about it most was the effect that it had on the veterans more than anything. I really, protesting at a college is reasonably safe compared to what you had to walk into in Vietnam or any other war zone for that matter, even in Iraq. But the public pressure at home is what turned the thing around finally, and plus the fact that Vietnam had been pretty well blown up by 1973, so that there was no profit margin to be made from that. And I have a feeling that that's what really stopped the war to begin with, was the idea that the profit margin was no longer there. The soldiers themselves still live with the nightmare of that ambush and their service in Vietnam, and the fact that the company commander, one of the company commander of Delta Company, couldn't get the regimental commander to change his mind about moving into this area and moving two companies down the road the way that he did in a straight line directly into an enemy position which they knew existed, with an unknown number of enemy ahead of them. This type of Colonel Custer attitude towards the American life is what usually gets us into trouble. And it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. We'll see what happens in Afghanistan. Hopefully it will not be that way, but I have a feeling that we have more lessons like that to learn. Each generation has to learn its own lessons. Other than that, I have very little else to say this morning. Israelis insist on expanding their settlements on the West Bank. They insist on bombing the virtual concentration camp of the Gaza Strip, which is a landlocked and airlocked community of Palestinians with very little in the way of water and sewage treatment and various necessities that are required for normal civilized life. But this is the way it's going to be for now, and not too much is going to be done about it. Iran has decided to give the finger to the world and continue its uranium enrichment program. Ahmadinejad is going to go ahead with it. He's talking about needing something like 500,000 centrifuges to continue making enough material for his peaceful atomic energy program, as he calls it. We'll see how peaceful it is and how peaceful we're going to be. I think it is well within our responsibility to take a deeper look into this, to see where we have prodded these people into doing things that they would not normally have done. And that to me is the end all and be all of it. I have a feeling that when you take a look at the history of the United States and our foreign policy, much of the problems that we've got into are mostly of our own making. When you take a look at the Middle East, it's our guys. We buy off a couple of Arab countries such as Jordan and Egypt, and we square off against somebody else's country such as Iran, which is not Arab, by the way, but probably one of the oldest continuing standing countries in world history besides China, and is a country that has not attacked anyone, yet we treat it as if it just attacked us yesterday. And I think something of a public education program needs to be done to try to start indoctrinating people as to actually how we carry out our foreign policy and meet our commitments and try to get people to do things that we want them to do for our own profit. The people in this country really do not suffer from this. They don't. I mean, there's a large number of people that are poor, that's true, but you can just about bet that a lot of them have a big screen TV and a brand new car if they can get a loan, which many automobile companies will give them a loan. 0% interest, 72 months. That's pretty astounding when you think about it. Well, that's all I have to say for this morning. I know it's kind of incoherent, but I just wanted to get a video up there. I haven't published one for a while, and I hope that it comes across okay. I welcome any comments, emails, etc. in response. Anyone who wants to converse with me about it through email, hey, give me a holler, and I'll be glad to talk to you about it.